The full moon hung heavy over Montana's wilderness, casting silver light through ancient pines. In the depths of the forest, something was hunting, not prey, not game, a mate. Marcus Blackwood moved through the darkness with predatory grace, his massive black wolf form cutting through undergrowth like smoke. Every sense burned with awareness. Every instinct screamed one word: mine. The scent hit him again, vanilla and wildflowers mixed with something uniquely female, uniquely omega, uniquely his. It flooded his system like liquid fire, igniting parts of him he thought had died 5 years ago, when Rebecca took her last breath. His wolf howled, the sound echoing through the mountains, claiming, calling, demanding. Somewhere in this forest, his fated mate was running, lost, afraid, and worst of all, completely unaware of what she was. Marcus shifted mid-stride, bones restructuring fur receding until he stood naked and powerful in the moonlight. His gray eyes burned amber gold as he tilted his head back and let his alpha voice roll across the territory. Whoever left my omega wandering unsafe, better pray I never find them. The forest went silent. Even the wind seemed to hold its breath. 48 hours earlier, Marcus Blackwood had been a different man. Still the alpha king, still the most powerful shifter in North America, but hollowed out, going through motions, ruling because duty demanded it, not because his heart beat for anything beyond his son. Now everything had changed. Now he had found her. Sarah Morgan had no idea her life was about to end, or more accurately, transform into something she could never have imagined. She stood in the barn of her family's ranch, 28 years old and feeling every minute of her isolation. The scent of hay and horses filled her lungs as she moved through evening chores with practiced efficiency. Her auburn hair caught the last rays of sunset streaming through the open door, highlighting the freckles across her nose that she had never learned to appreciate. Her father Thomas sat on the porch of their modest ranch house, watching her with eyes that had seen too much. Korean War veteran, 72 years old, still sharp as the day he enlisted. He knew things, saw things, and lately he had been watching his daughter with an intensity that made her uncomfortable. Sarah felt it too, the restlessness, the sense that something fundamental was shifting beneath the surface of her carefully constructed life. Her skin felt too tight, her senses too sharp. She could smell things she should not be able to smell, hear sounds from impossible distances. And the dreams. God, the dreams. Every night for the past month, she ran through forests she had never seen, chased by something, or chasing something. The line blurred. And when she woke, her body burned with a need she could not name and did not understand. Tonight felt different, wrong. The horses were restless, stamping and snorting in their stalls. The air itself seemed to vibrate with tension. Sarah checked the last stall, running her hand along the mare's flank. The animal calmed immediately under her touch, relaxing in a way that always puzzled Sarah. Animals responded to her, always had. She attributed it to growing up on a ranch. She had no idea it was her omega nature soothing them. The sound came from the storage area at the back of the barn, a wet, labored breathing, a low whimper that raised every hair on her neck. Sarah grabbed the pitchfork, leaning against the wall. Ranch girl instincts kicked in. Could be a coyote. Could be something worse. Montana wilderness held dangers most city people never imagined. She moved slowly, quietly toward the sound. What she found stopped her heart. A wolf, massive, dark-furred, collapsed in the hay. Blood matted its coat. A gunshot wound in its left shoulder, claw marks across its ribs, and fever heat radiating from its body. But that was not what froze Sarah in place. It was the eyes. When the wolf's head lifted weakly, amber gold eyes met hers. Not animal eyes, intelligent eyes, aware eyes, human eyes trapped in a wolf's face. Sarah's hands trembled. The pitchfork clattered to the ground. "What are you?" The wolf's tail twitched, not a wag, an acknowledgement. It understood her. Every logical part of Sarah's brain screamed to run. Call animal control, call her father, call anyone. But something deeper than logic, deeper than fear, surged through her veins. An overwhelming, undeniable urge to protect, to heal, to save this creature. Her omega instincts were waking. She dropped to her knees beside the injured wolf, hands moving with surprising confidence. Ranch life taught practical medicine. You learned to treat injuries, stitch wounds, manage pain. Animals could not wait for veterinarians when you lived this far from town. Sarah gathered supplies from the tack room: clean water, bandages, antiseptic. Her hands moved with purpose while her mind reeled. The wolf watched her, never aggressive, never threatening, just those impossibly intelligent eyes tracking her every movement. When Sarah began cleaning the gunshot wound, the wolf flinched but did not snap. She worked while carefully, gently murmuring soft reassurances the way she would to any frightened animal. "It's okay. I've got you. You're safe now." Her scent, vanilla and wildflowers with that indefinable omega sweetness, washed over the injured shifter. Ethan Blackwood, 12 years old and trapped in wolf form after his first transformation, went catastrophically wrong, felt something he had not felt in 3 days. Peace. The terrible pain faded to manageable levels. His racing heartbeat slowed. The fever burning through his system cooled fractionally. This human woman, this stranger, was a healer, omega, rare, powerful, and completely unaware of her own nature. Ethan's wolf recognized what his human mind could not fully process: his father's mate, the woman who would become his new mother, the one who would complete their broken family. He let his eyes drift closed, trusting completely. Sarah worked for hours. The wolf's wounds were severe, but it was healing impossibly fast. Tissue knitting together, fever breaking. By the time the moon rose fully, the wolf was resting peacefully. Sarah sat back on her heels, exhausted and confused. She should be terrified. She should be calling for help. Instead, she reached out and placed her hand gently on the wolf's head. The fur was softer than she expected. Warm. The steady rise and fall of breathing beneath her palm felt like the most natural thing in the world. "Who are you?" she whispered again. The wolf's eyes opened, amber gold burning with gratitude and something else: recognition. Then they closed again, and Sarah was left alone with questions that had no rational answers. She did not go to the house that night. She stayed in the barn, dozing fitfully beside the injured wolf, waking every hour to check on it. By morning, Thomas knew something had changed. His daughter had always been special. He had known it from the moment she was born. The midwife had commented on her scent, the unusual calm she brought to the room. Thomas's late wife, Mary, had been human, normal. But somehow their daughter carried genes that should have been impossible. Omega, pure omega, in a bloodline with no shifter heritage. Thomas had spent 28 years hiding this truth, moving them to isolated Montana, keeping Sarah away from shifters who might recognize what she was, praying the omega nature would stay dormant forever. He should have known better. Fate does not care about a father's desperate hopes. Thomas found Sarah in the barn at dawn, asleep in the hay beside a creature that was definitely not a normal wolf. He stood in the doorway, old military instincts cataloging the situation. Size wrong, structure wrong, intelligence in those eyes when they opened to regard him. Shifter, young one, injured, and his daughter sleeping beside it like it was the most natural thing in the world. Thomas turned and walked back to the house. He made coffee, sat on the porch, and waited. The conversation would come. The truth would come. But for now, he gave his daughter a few more hours of innocence. In Seattle, 300 miles away, Marcus Blackwood stood in his high-rise headquarters and listened to his beta's report with growing horror. The boy transformed early. Full moon hit harder than we calculated. He panicked, lost control. Grant Mitchell, the rancher, organized a hunting party. They shot him. Marcus's hand crushed the phone he was holding. Plastic and metal crumpled like paper. His eyes flashed amber gold. The massive windows rattled as alpha power rolled through the room. Where Daniel Reeves, beta and right hand for 15 years, knew better than to delay. Montana wilderness near the Morgan Ranch. Tracking shows he made it to a barn. Then the signal stabilized. He's alive. Barely. Mobilize everyone. I want coordinates in 1 hour. Already done. The jet is ready. Marcus turned to the window, looking out over the city he protected, ruled, commanded. His reflection showed a man carved from stone. Dark hair with silver threading through it. Gray eyes that could freeze or burn depending on his mood. The scar across his collarbone visible above his shirt, reminder of battles fought and won. He was 40 years old. No, he was 400 years old. Time meant little to shifters who aged slowly and lived long. But right now, time meant everything. His son was dying somewhere in the Montana wilderness. The child he had only truly begun to know 5 years ago when Rebecca passed. The boy he had been trying desperately to prepare for the shifter world while protecting him from its dangers. First transformation was supposed to happen at 16. Controlled, supervised, safe. Not at 12. Not wild and terrified in the woods with hunters shooting at him. Marcus's wolf snarled beneath his skin. Every instinct demanded he tear through the city to reach his child. Only centuries of learned control kept him human. The flight felt eternal. Daniel piloted the private jet while Marcus sat rigid in his seat, every muscle coiled. Ready. His phone rang constantly. Other alphas offering assistance. Enforcers ready to deploy. The shifter community rallying around their king's crisis. But one call made Marcus freeze. Vincent Gray, alpha of the Pacific Northwest Territory. Political rival, ambitious, dangerous. I heard about Ethan. My condolences if the boy does not survive. The false sympathy dripped like poison. Marcus's claws extended involuntarily, puncturing the leather armrest. If you are involved in this, Gray, I will end you and everyone you love. Such hostility. I merely called to offer assistance, and perhaps discuss certain concerns about succession. If your heir proves too weak to survive his first transformation, the council may need to reconsider. Marcus hung up. The phone shattered in his grip. Vincent wants him dead, Daniel said quietly from the pilot's seat. Vincent wants everything I have. My territory, my title, my power. Marcus's voice was arctic. He will get none of it. They landed at a private airstrip as the sun set on the second day. Marcus barely waited for the wheels to touch down before he was moving, shifting. His massive black wolf form exploded from the plane and tore into the forest. Daniel followed in vehicle form, knowing better than to try to keep pace with an alpha king in full protective fury. Marcus ran through miles of wilderness in minutes. His sun's scent was faint but present, leading him toward civilization, toward a ranch, toward... He stopped so abruptly that momentum carried him into a skidding tumble. The scent hit him like a physical blow. Vanilla, wildflowers, something sweet and intoxicating and utterly irresistible. Omega. But not just any omega. This scent sang to every cell in his body, called to his wolf, wrapped around his heart and squeezed. Mate, Marcus shifted to human form, standing naked in the forest, chest heaving. 400 years old, and he had only felt this twice before. Once with his first mate dead 3 centuries. Once with Rebecca dead 5 years. He had assumed fate was done giving him chances at happiness. He had been wrong. No, he growled to the empty forest. Not now, not when my son needs me. I cannot be distracted by... But his wolf was not listening. His wolf was already running toward that scent, toward destiny, toward her. And Marcus, for all his control, could not stop it. The barn came into view as darkness fell, small, practical, exactly what you would expect on a modest Montana ranch. Marcus approached carefully, forcing himself back to human form, despite his wolf's desperate desire to burst through the doors. He pulled on the spare clothes Daniel had thrown from the following vehicle. Jeans, black shirt, leather jacket, boots. He looked dangerous because he was dangerous. Through the crack in the barn door, he could see her, auburn hair catching lamplight, slender frame bent over his son, small hands gentle on fur, green eyes focused with complete concentration. Sarah Morgan, his mate, and she was taking care of his child with tenderness that made something crack in Marcus's chest. He watched her for long moments, memorizing, cataloging, already possessive in ways that should terrify him. She was beautiful. Not in the flashy way that drew attention in cities. Beautiful in the way wild things were beautiful, natural, unpretentious, real, and completely unaware that the most powerful shifter in North America was about to walk into her life and change it forever. Marcus pushed the barn door open. Sarah spun at the sound, green eyes going wide. Their gazes locked. The world stopped. Marcus felt the mate bond snap into place like a physical thing. Golden threads weaving between them. Binding, claiming, permanent. His wolf surged forward, every instinct screaming to claim her, now mark her, now make her his, before anyone else could even look at her. Sarah felt it too, though she did not understand what it was. Heat flooded her body. her skin suddenly too sensitive, her breath coming short, and wetness, mortifying wetness between her thighs. What was happening to her? Step away from him. Marcus's voice was deeper than any voice she had heard. It resonated in her bones, made her want to obey without question. Slowly, Sarah found herself moving before conscious thought, her body responding to the alpha command woven through his words. No, she stopped herself, forced her legs to lock. She was not some puppet. This is my property. Her voice shook, but she kept it steady. Who are you? Marcus took a step forward. Sarah's body reacted instantly, nipples hardening, core clenching, a whimper rising in her throat that she barely suppressed. This was insane. She did not react to men like this. She barely reacted to men at all. 28 years old and still a virgin because no one had ever made her feel like this. That animal is my son. Marcus took another step, close enough now that Sarah could see his eyes. Gray, beautiful, burning with amber light beneath. And you, Sarah Morgan, are my Omega. I'm not. She backed up until she hit the barn wall. Trapped. I don't understand. Marcus moved faster than human possible. Suddenly he was there, towering over her, one hand braced against the wall beside her head. Not touching, not yet, but close enough that she could feel the heat radiating from his body. Close enough to smell him. Pine. Smoke. Something wild and masculine that made her head swim. Your body understands. His voice dropped to a rumble. I can smell your arousal, little one. I can hear your heart racing. I can see your pulse fluttering in your throat. His eyes tracked down to her neck and lingered. You feel the pull between us, the need. Your Omega recognizes her Alpha. I'm not. But the protest died, because he was right. She felt it. God help her, she felt it. You are. He leaned closer, his breath ghosted across her ear. And soon, very soon, you will accept what you are, what we are, what you were always meant to be. Sarah's hands came up, pressing against his chest, intending to push him away. But the moment she touched him, electricity shot through her palms. Her fingers curled into his shirt instead, holding him, not pushing him away. Marcus made a sound low in his throat, satisfied, possessive. Good girl. The praise sent heat pooling in Sarah's core. She hated that response, hated how her body betrayed her. Don't. The word came out breathy, weak. Don't what? His nose traced along her hairline, breathing her in. Don't touch you. Don't tell you the truth. Don't claim what is mine. A whimper from behind them broke the moment. Ethan. Marcus pulled back instantly, control slamming into place. He moved to his son with military efficiency, kneeling beside the young wolf. Sarah watched, still pressed against the wall, as the dangerous predator transformed into something else entirely. A father, terrified for his child. Marcus's hands trembled as they moved over Ethan's fur, checking vitals, assessing damage. His jaw was tight enough to shatter teeth. How long has he been like this? 3 days. Sarah found her voice. I found him yesterday evening. He was barely alive. And you saved him. Marcus looked up at her, real emotion breaking through the alpha mask, gratitude, wonder. You had no reason to help, every reason to call authorities. But you protected my son. He was hurt. Sarah moved closer despite every self-preservation instinct. I couldn't just leave him. No. Marcus's eyes softened fractionally. You could not, because you are a healer Omega. Rare, powerful. Your instinct to protect and heal is as strong as my instinct to dominate and defend. He turned back to Ethan, producing supplies from a bag Sarah had not noticed him carrying. Medications that glowed faintly, herbs that smelled of earth and moonlight, things that should not exist. Sarah watched him work with the efficiency of someone who had done this countless times, tending wounds, administering treatments, murmuring in a language Sarah did not recognize. When he was done, Ethan's breathing had eased. The fever had broken further. The young wolf looked peaceful for the first time since Sarah had found him. Marcus stood turning back to Sarah. His gray eyes were hard again. Alpha King, not vulnerable father. I need him here for 1 week. treatment, monitoring, recovery. It was not a question. You will care for him during the day while I handle complications. I will return each night. Tell no one. If you do, there will be consequences. Sarah bristled at the command. And if I refuse, Marcus closed the distance between them in 2 strides. One hand cupped her chin, tilting her face up. The touch sent fire through her veins. You will not refuse. His thumb brushed her lower lip. Her breath hitched. Because the Omega in you knows that child needs protection. Because despite your fear, despite your confusion, you already care about him. And because he leaned close enough that their lips almost touched. You want me to come back? I don't, but the lie tasted bitter. Sarah, the way he said her name, like prayer, like curse, like promise. I can smell your slick. Your body is preparing for me. Do not be ashamed. It is natural. It is right. And soon, so very soon, I will give you everything your Omega craves. His hand dropped. He stepped back. The loss of contact felt like physical pain. Full moon is tomorrow night. His eyes burned amber. Your first heat will come. You will need me. Call me. He produced a phone from a diakis, pressed it into her trembling hand. I will take care of you, I promise. Then he was gone, moving through the barn door and disappearing into the darkness like smoke. Sarah slid down the wall legs, giving out. Her whole body shook. From fear, from arousal, from something she could not name. She looked at Ethan sleeping peacefully in the hay. What just happened? She whispered. The wolf's tail twitched, like he was laughing. Sarah spent the rest of the night in the barn, unable to go to the house, unable to face her father's inevitable questions, because everything had changed. She was not who she thought she was. Her life was not what she thought it was. And somewhere in the Montana darkness, a man she had just met was already claiming her as his in ways that should terrify her. Should. But as Sarah finally drifted into uneasy sleep, her dreams were not of fear. They were of gray eyes burning amber, of hands both gentle and possessive, of a voice that commanded and protected in equal measure, of becoming something she never knew she could be. The wolf beside her settled deeper into sleep, content in ways that 12-year-old Ethan Blackwood had not been since his mother died. His father had found them. His new mother would come around eventually. Shifter children always knew these things, and somewhere in the forest Marcus stood in human form and let his control shatter for just a moment. His mate, his son, under the same roof. The family he thought he would never have again. Vincent Gray's political games suddenly mattered much less. The council's expectations barely registered. All that mattered was in that barn, and Marcus would burn the world to protect it. The full moon rose higher. Tomorrow night it would be complete, and Sarah Morgan, unaware Omega healer, would experience her first true heat. Would she call him? Marcus smiled. Cold, certain, she would, because fate was inevitable, and they were meant for each other in ways that transcended choice. The hunt was over. Now came the claiming. The Montana sun rose cold and merciless over the Morgan ranch. Sarah woke in the hay beside the sleeping wolf, every muscle stiff, every nerve still singing from the encounter the night before. Marcus Blackwood, Alpha King. The words felt like fiction, like something from the paranormal romances she sometimes read late at night when sleep would not come. Except this was not fiction. The wolf breathing steadily beside her was proof. The phone clutched in her hand was proof. The ache between her thighs was proof. Sarah stumbled from the barn as dawn painted the sky pink and gold. Her father sat on the porch, coffee steaming in his weathered hands. He did not look surprised to see her emerging disheveled and confused. You met him. Not a question, a statement of fact. Sarah sank onto the porch steps. How did you know? Thomas took a long sip of coffee. Been waiting 28 years for this day, praying it would never come, knowing it would. I don't understand any of this. Sarah's voice cracked. That thing in the barn, that man, what he said about me being Omega. Thomas set down his mug. Your mother was human, normal. But somewhere in your bloodline, generations back there, was shifter heritage, dormant, hidden, until you. Sarah stared at her father, the man who raised her, protected her, taught her everything about ranch life and nothing about what she truly was. You knew. You always knew. From the moment you were born, the midwife commented on your scent, how the animals calmed around you. I moved us here away from cities, away from shifter territories. Thought I could keep you safe, keep you human. His voice roughened. Should have known fate does not care what a father wants. What happens now? Thomas looked at his daughter, really looked, seeing the changes already beginning, the heightened color in her cheeks, the way her hands trembled, the scent sweet and intoxicating growing stronger by the hour. Heat is coming. Tomorrow night, maybe sooner. You will need an alpha to help you through it. He held up a hand when Sarah started to protest. Not for that, not unless you choose. But alpha pheromones calm the pain. Without them, first heat can be dangerous. Fever, delirium, your body trying to shift into something it does not know how to be. He said the same thing. Sarah looked at the phone in her hand. Marcus's number already programmed. Only contact. Like he knew she would need nothing else. He said he would take care of me. He is Alpha King, most powerful shifter in North America. If he has claimed you as mate, Thomas trailed off. Sarah, you need to understand what that means. Mate bonds are not casual. They are for life, permanent. If you accept him, there is no going back. I barely know him. Does it not matter to shifters? They believe in fated mates, destiny. When they find the one, nothing else matters. Sarah thought about gray eyes burning amber, about the way her body had responded despite her mind screaming caution, about the terrifying rightness of his hand on her face. I am scared. Good. Thomas reached over and squeezed her shoulder. Fear means you are thinking clearly. But Sarah, I have seen many things in my 72 years. War, death, evil in forms most people cannot imagine. That man last night, he is dangerous, powerful, but the way he looked at you, Thomas smiled sadly, that is not a man who will hurt you. That is a man who will destroy the world to protect you. Sarah spent the day in a haze. She checked on the wolf who was healing with impossible speed. She did ranch chores on autopilot. She tried and failed to eat lunch, and she felt the changes accelerating in her body. Skin too sensitive, clothes rubbing wrong, temperature fluctuating, scents overwhelming. The horses, usually calm around her, became skittish. They could smell what was coming. By evening, Sarah's hands shook too badly to hold a coffee cup. Thomas watched from the kitchen table. He will come tonight, whether you call or not. He will smell the preheat on you from miles away. I should run. Where would you go? Thomas asked gently. He is Alpha King. If he wants to find you, he will. And Sarah, running from heat will not stop it. It will only make it worse. Alone. Dangerous. Your body needs what it needs. I hate this. Sarah pressed her palms against her eyes. I hate not having control. Welcome to being Omega. Thomas stood, moving to the sink. It is not weakness, despite what modern world says. Omegas have power, different power, healing, calming, creating bonds that hold packs together. Your mother, human as she was, had that gift. You inherited it magnified. The sun set, the moon rose. Not full yet, but close enough that Sarah could feel its pull like gravity. And right on schedule at exactly 10 p.m., Marcus Blackwood walked through the barn door. Sarah had been sitting with the wolf, trying to calm her racing heart. She looked up, and there he was. Leather jacket, dark jeans, boots. Every inch the predator. But his eyes went to his son first. The vulnerability in that moment, the naked fear that something might be wrong, cracked Sarah's defenses more than any display of dominance could have. Marcus knelt beside Ethan, hands moving over fur with practiced efficiency, checking vitals, assessing progress. When he was satisfied, truly satisfied, the tension in his shoulders eased fractionally. He is improving. Marcus looked at Sarah. Because of you. I just kept him comfortable. You did more than that. Marcus stood, moving toward her with that fluid grace that made her pulse jump. Your omega pheromones are accelerating his healing. Healer omegas are rare, powerful. You are remarkable, Sarah Morgan. The way he said her name, like tasting something precious. I did not ask for this, but her voice was weak. I know. He stopped just outside her personal space. Close enough to feel, not close enough to touch. Do you think I asked to find my mate when my son was injured? When political enemies circle? When I have a kingdom to protect? His jaw tightened. Fate does not ask permission. Your father told you. Marcus's eyes tracked over her face, reading, cataloging, about what you are. What is coming? He said, heat. Sarah hated how small her voice sounded. Tomorrow night. Tonight, Marcus corrected quietly. I can already smell it beginning. Preheat. Your body preparing. Humiliation burned Sarah's cheeks. Do not tell you what your body is doing. Marcus tilted his head. Why does it shame you? You are Omega. Heat is natural, necessary. It is how your kind find their mates, how bonds form. I am not your kind. Sarah stood, needing to move, needing distance. 24 hours ago, I was human, normal. Now you are telling me I am something else entirely. You were always this. Marcus followed her, slowly, like approaching spooked prey. You just did not know. But Sarah, your body knew. Your Omega knew. She was just waiting. For what? For me. The certainty in his voice. The absolute conviction. It should have been arrogant. Instead, it felt like inevitability. Marcus moved to the bag he had brought, producing more supplies. I brought medications. Things to help with the pain when heat fully hits. Alpha pheromones help most, but if you do not want me near you, these can take the edge off. He was giving her a choice. After all the commands, all the dominance, he was giving her an out. Sarah watched him work, preparing treatments for Ethan. His hands were steady, competent, gentle when they touched his son. How old are you? She asked suddenly. Marcus paused. How old do I look? 40, maybe. Close, I've been 40 for about 360 years. Sarah's breath caught. You are 400 years old. Give or take a decade. He resumed working. Shifters age slowly, live long. I was born when this continent had different names, different borders. I have seen empires rise and fall. I have loved twice before you. Lost both mates to time and fate. Rebecca, Sarah remembered the name from last night. Your son's mother. Yes, Marcus's voice roughened. She was human. Chose me despite knowing what I was. Gave me Ethan. Died of cancer 5 years ago because human bodies are fragile and even alpha power cannot stop cellular mutation. I am sorry. So am I. He finished with Ethan and turned back to Sarah. I thought I was done. Thought fate had given me my chances and I had lost them both. I was content to be alone, to raise my son, to rule my territories. And then I walked into this barn and smelled vanilla and wildflowers and everything changed. He crossed to her. This time he did not stop outside her space. He crowded her, deliberately, testing. You feel it too. Do not lie to me, Sarah. I can hear your heartbeat. I can smell your arousal. Your body is responding to me whether your mind accepts it or not. That does not mean I have to act on it. No, His hand came up, cupped her face. His thumb brushed her lower lip and she shivered. You have choices, always. I will not force you, ever. But Sarah, when heat hits and it will hit hard, you will need help. You can use medications and suffer through it alone. Or you can call me and I will make it better. Without mating, if that is what you want. His eyes burned. I will hold you, scent mark you. Let my alpha pheromones calm your omega. But I will not claim you unless you beg me to. Unless you are clear-headed and certain. Do you understand? Sarah nodded, not trusting her voice. Good girl. There it was again, that praise that made heat pool in her core. Now I am going to do something. You can tell me to stop at any time and I will. Understood. What are you, Marcus leaned in, his nose traced along her hairline, down her temple, along her jaw, breathing her in, learning her scent. Sarah froze, her hands came up gripping his arms, not pushing away, just holding. Perfect, Marcus murmured against her skin. You smell perfect. Then he did something that made Sarah gasp. His wrist pressed against the side of her neck, rubbing, marking her with his scent. What are you doing? Scent marking. It will help. When other shifters smell me on you, they will know you are protected. Mine. And it will ease the preheat. Alpha pheromones absorbing through your skin. He was right. The moment his scent transferred to her warm and masculine and safe, Sarah felt some of the terrible tension ease. The fever burning under her skin cooled slightly. She found herself leaning into him, seeking more. Marcus made that satisfied sound again. His other hand slid around her waist, pulling her closer. Not sexually, protectively. There. Better. Yes, Sarah breathed. Why does it help? Because Omega and Alpha are meant to balance each other. Your distress calls to me. My presence calms you. It is biology, instinct, older than civilization. They stood like that for long moments. Sarah tucked against Marcus's chest, his arms around her, both of them breathing in sync. It felt dangerously right. Finally, Marcus stepped back. Sarah immediately missed his warmth. I have to go. Business in Seattle that cannot wait. He pulled out a phone identical to the one he gave her. You call me anytime, day or night, and I will come. If heat hits before I return tomorrow evening, call me. I will be here in 2 hours. Do you understand? Yes, Seamus. Say it. If heat hits, I will call you. Good girl. He moved to the door, paused, looked back. Sarah, one more thing. What? Do not be afraid of what you are. Omega is not weakness, it is strength. Different strength. You have power you do not understand yet. When you learn to wield it, you will be formidable. Then he was gone. Sarah touched her neck where he had marked her. She could still smell him on her skin, pine and smoke and wild things. And God help her, she wanted more. The next day passed in agony. Sarah's temperature spiked. Her skin felt like it was burning from the inside. Clothes were torture. Even the soft cotton of her tank top and worn jeans felt like sandpaper. Thomas kept his distance, knowing his presence would only make it worse. Male proximity, even father, would trigger Omega instincts. By afternoon, Sarah was shaking. By evening, she could barely stand. Call him, Thomas said from the porch, keeping the house between them. Sarah called him now before it gets worse. I can handle it, but she could not. Slick was soaking through her jeans. The terrible aching need was consuming her. Pride will kill you. This is not human sickness you can push through. This is biology demanding an alpha. Call him or I will. Sarah stumbled to the barn, seeking the cool darkness, seeking isolation. Ethan was in human form now, 12 years old, naked, wrapped in blankets. He woke when she entered. You are in heat. His voice was young, but his eyes were old, shifter eyes. Dad needs to come. I will be fine. You smell like pain. Ethan sat up. Please call him. He is losing his mind knowing you are suffering. Sarah looked at the bum, Marcus's son, who had already accepted her as pack, as family. She pulled out the phone with shaking hands. It rang once. Sarah. Marcus's voice, tight, controlled. How bad, bad. Her voice broke. Marcus, it hurts. Everything hurts. I am 20 minutes away. I was already driving when I felt you through the bond. Hold on, little Omega. I am coming. The bond. Mate bonds form in stages. First stage happened when we met. I can feel your distress, your pain. It is killing me. Stay in the barn. I will be there soon. He hung up. Sarah collapsed in the hay. Ethan moved closer. It is okay. Dad will fix it. He always fixes things. You are not scared of me. Why would I be scared? Ethan tilted his head. You saved me. You are Dad's mate. That makes you pack. Family. I barely know your father. Shifters do not date like humans, Ethan explained with the patience of someone who had grown up in this world. We have fated mates. When we find them, we know. Dad knew the moment he saw you. He told me on the phone, said he found her, found you, said everything would be okay now. Sarah wanted to argue, wanted to resist, but another wave of heat rolled through her and she could only whimper. Time lost meaning. She was aware of burning, king, needing something she could not name. Then the barn door crashed open. Marcus, he was there, dropping to his knees beside her, hands cupping her face. Sarah, look at me. Focus on my voice, she tried. His gray eyes were her anchor. Ethan, go to the house, now. But Dad, now son, this is not for you to see. The boy scrambled up, grabbed a blanket, and ran. Marcus waited until his son was gone. Then he gathered Sarah into his arms. She was burning up, soaked with sweat and slick, trembling uncontrollably. I have you. I am here now. He carried her to a cleaner section of the barn. Fresh hay, blankets someone, probably Thomas, had left. He laid her down gently. Sarah clutched at him. It hurts. Make it stop. I will, I promise. Marcus stripped off his jacket, his shirt. Sarah's heat-hazed mind cataloged scars, muscle, power barely contained in human form. He laid down beside her, pulled her against his chest. Let his alpha pheromones wash over her. The relief was instant and overwhelming. Sarah sobbed into his chest, the terrible burning pain fading to manageable levels, her body recognizing its alpha, responding, calming. There. Marcus's hand stroked her back, her hair, soothing. Better. Yes. God, yes. Sarah burrowed closer, seeking more of his scent, more of his warmth. Marcus's control was iron. Every instinct demanded he claim her now, mark her, make her his in every way. His wolf was snarling, demanding, desperate. But she was not ready, not truly. Heat made decisions that clear-headed Omegas might regret. So he would wait. He would help her through this. And when she came to him, truly came to him, it would be choice, not biology. Marcus, Sarah's hands fisted in his hair. I do not know what I need. I know what you need. His voice dropped to that alpha rumble. Your body wants me to claim you, to mate you, to mark you as mine. But we are not doing that tonight. Not while heat controls you. Please, she was begging, hated herself for it, could not stop. Please help me. I am helping you. His wrist pressed against her neck again, scent marking. His other hand slid under her tank top, skin-to-skin contact on her back, transferring more pheromones. This will ease it, not eliminate it, but ease it. He was right. The skin contact helped enormously. Sarah's breathing steadied. Can I take off your shirt? Marcus asked. Skin contact will help more, but only if you consent. Sarah nodded. Too far gone to care about modesty. Marcus pulled off her tank top, left her in just a sports bra and jeans. Then he pulled her back against him, his bare chest to her bare back, his arms wrapped around her, cocooning her in safety and alpha presence. Sarah melted. This was what her Omega needed. Not sex, not mating, just this, being held by her alpha, protected, cherished. Sleep, Marcus murmured against her hair. I will hold you through this. When you wake, the worst will have passed. You will stay, but wild horses could not drag me away. Sarah let herself drift, safe for the first time since this nightmare began. But as the night deepened and the full moon rose to its peak, heat intensified again. Sarah woke gasping, the brief respite over. Now the true heat was here, demanding, consuming, making her body ache with emptiness that only one thing could fill. Marcus, she rolled in his arms, facing him, her hands on his chest. I need more, please. I need more. Marcus's jaw was clenched hard enough to crack teeth. His eyes were pure amber now, wolf barely contained. Sarah, you do not know what you are asking. I know exactly what I am asking. Her hand slid down his chest, his stomach, heading lower. Marcus caught her wrist. No. Why not tears of frustration, of need? You said you would help me. I am helping you, but I will not claim you while you are in heat. When I take you, and I will take you, it will be because you choose me, fully, consciously, not because biology is forcing you. I do choose you. But even through the heat haze, Sarah knew it was not entirely true. She wanted him. God, she wanted him. But was it hers or the Omega? Marcus saw the uncertainty. When you can answer that question without doubt, then I will make you mine. But not before. He kissed her instead, hard, possessive, claiming her mouth if not her body. Sarah moaned into it, arched against him, desperate for more contact, more friction, more anything. Marcus broke the kiss with visible effort. I am going to do something that will help. But Sarah, I need you to trust me. Can you do that? Yes, anything. Just make it stop hurting. Marcus moved, positioned himself behind her again, his chest to her back, one arm wrapped around her waist holding her secure. His other hand, his fingers slipped into her jeans, into her panties, finding her soaking wet and aching. Sarah gasped. What are you? Helping. His fingers circled her clit. Expert. Knowing. This will release some of the pressure. Take the edge off. But Sarah, this is all I am giving you tonight. Understand, she could only nod, lost to sensation as he worked her with skill that came from centuries of experience. That is it, Marcus murmured in her ear. Let go, let me take care of you. His fingers moved in perfect rhythm. His scent surrounded her, his alpha presence anchoring her. Sarah came apart in minutes, orgasm crashing through her, crying out, shaking. Marcus held her through it, whispering praise. Perfect. Absolutely perfect, my Omega. You are so responsive, so beautiful when you let go. As promised, the orgasm eased the worst of the heat, not eliminated it, but made it bearable. Sarah collapsed against him, exhausted, wrung out. Sleep now. Marcus cleaned his hand on a cloth, pulled her close again. When you wake, we will talk. Really talk. No heat, no biology, just you and me. Okay, okay. Sarah was already drifting. Marcus, yes. Thank you for waiting. You are my mate. I will wait as long as you need. He pressed a kiss to her temple, even if it kills me. And Sarah, it might actually kill me, because being this close to you and not claiming you is the hardest thing I have done in 400 years. Sarah smiled despite everything. Good to know. They slept tangled together as the moon crossed the sky. When dawn came, the heat had broken. Sarah woke clear-headed for the first time in 36 hours and found herself wrapped around Marcus Blackwood like he was the only solid thing in the universe. She should pull away, should be embarrassed, should regret everything. She was not. She did not. Instead, she studied him in the early light. Relaxed in sleep, he looked younger. The harsh lines softened. His hand was still possessively splayed across her stomach. Even unconscious, he was protecting her, claiming her. Marcus's eyes opened, instantly alert. Alpha instincts never truly sleeping. Morning. His voice was rough, deeper from sleep. Morning. Sarah did not move. Not yet. Thank you. For last night. For everything. You do not need to thank me for taking care of my mate. I have not agreed to be your mate. Well, yet. His thumb traced circles on her stomach. But you will. The confidence should have irritated her. Instead, it sent heat pooling in her core. What happens now? Now we talk. Really talk. No heat clouding your judgment. You ask me questions. I answer honestly. And then you decide. Marcus sat up. Sarah immediately missed his warmth. But Sarah, you should know something first. What? Vincent Gray, the alpha I mentioned. He knows about you. Marcus's jaw tightened. My sources tell me he is planning something. He wants you, not as mate, as political tool. Healer Omegas are rare, valuable. Whoever controls you controls shifter medicine. Power. Fear spiked through Sarah. I am washed in danger. Not while I breathe. Marcus's eyes flashed amber. But Sarah, this is the reality. You are no longer just human woman on Montana Ranch. You are Omega, healer. And whether you accept me as mate or not, the shifter world knows about you now. You will never be truly safe again unless you have alpha protection. So my choices are accept you or be vulnerable. No. Marcus stood, pulled his shirt back on. Your choices are accept me and be protected. Or reject me and I will find another way to keep you safe. I will assign guards, set up defenses, move you somewhere secure. I will not force the mate bond just because it is convenient. Sarah studied him, looking for lies, for manipulation. She found only truth. I need time to think, to process. You have 3 days. Marcus checked on Ethan, who was sleeping peacefully in human form. But Sarah, in 3 days, I have to take you and Ethan to Seattle. Vincent will come here, I know him. He will try to take you by force. We need to be behind my defenses when that happens. And if I refuse to go, then I will stay here and defend this ranch against an alpha and his entire pack. Many will die. Possibly your father. Possibly me. Possibly you. Marcus turned back to her. I would do it. If that is what you wanted, I would burn my kingdom to keep you safe. But Sarah, is that what you want? She thought about Thomas, about the quiet life they had built, about it all being torn apart by violence. No. Then you come to Seattle. You bring your father if you want. You see my world, meet my people, and then you decide. Mate bond or no mate bond, you will be under my protection. That is not negotiable. Sarah wanted to argue, wanted to fight the high-handed commands, but she was also practical. She had seen Marcus's power. If an alpha wanted to hurt her, she would need protection. Fine, 3 days, then we go to Seattle. Marcus smiled, genuine, relieved. Thank you. He moved toward the door, paused. Sarah, one more thing. Last night when I touched you, that was not claiming. That was helping you through heat. But it did create a connection. You can probably feel it. A thread linking us. Sarah focused. And yes, there it was. A golden thread connecting her chest to his, faint but present. What is it? First stage of mate bond. It will grow stronger the more time we spend together, the more we touch. Eventually, if you accept me fully, it will complete. We will be bonded for life. Telepathic connection. Shared emotions. True mates. And if I reject you, pain flashed across Marcus's face, then the bond will wither. It will hurt us both. But we will survive. Fate gives choices, Sarah, even if it does not feel like it. He left then, really left. Sarah heard the vehicle start, drive away. She was alone with Ethan and her chaotic thoughts. The boy stirred, sat up, looked at Sarah with knowing eyes. You are going to accept him. I can tell. How? Because you are both stubborn, both broken in ways that fit together, and because you already care. I can see it. Ethan grinned. Plus, I like you. You would make a good mom. I am not. We are not. Sarah sputtered. Not yet. Ethan stood, stretched, completely unself-conscious about his nudity. But you will be. We can sense these things. It's instinct. 3 days passed like heartbeats, fast and relentless. Sarah spent them in a haze of conflicting emotions. Fear, anticipation, confusion, and underneath it all, a growing certainty that terrified her more than anything else. She wanted this, wanted Marcus. Not because biology demanded it, not because heat forced her hand, but because in 3 short days she had seen glimpses of the man beneath the Alpha King facade. He came every evening at exactly 10 p.m., treated Ethan with medications that defied science, talked to his son with patience and love that made Sarah's chest ache, and treated Sarah herself with careful respect. No touching beyond necessary scent marking, no demands, no pressure, just steady presence and conversations that revealed layers she had not expected. The first night after Ethan fell asleep, they sat in the hay, and Marcus told her about Rebecca. She knew what I was from the beginning. I did not hide it. Thought she would run. Most humans do when faced with proof that monsters are real. His voice was distant, remembering. But Rebecca just laughed, said she had always known magic existed. She was an artist, saw beauty in everything, even in a 400-year-old werewolf. You loved her. I did. Still do in ways. Love does not die just because the person does. Marcus looked at Sarah. But I have learned something about love. It is not finite. Loving someone who is gone does not prevent loving someone new. If anything, it makes you appreciate it more. Know how precious it is, how easily it can be lost. I am not Rebecca. No, you are Sarah, completely different. She was human who chose to enter my world. You are Omega, discovering you were always part of it. She was soft and artistic. You are practical and strong. I did not fall in love with you because you remind me of her. I am falling for you because you are nothing like her, because you are exactly what I need now. Falling, present tense, not already fallen. It gave Sarah hope that this was real. Not instant magical bond, but actual feelings developing. The second night, Marcus told her about his enemies. Vincent Gray lost his son 6 years ago. Hunters killed the boy because they thought all shifters were monsters. Vincent has hated humans ever since, sees them as disease weakening our bloodlines. When he learned about you, Healer Omega, with human heritage, it confirmed all his prejudices. What does he want? To control you. If he cannot have you as mate, he will try to force you into service, healing his pack, making him the most powerful alpha because he controls the only Healer Omega in North America. Marcus's eyes went hard. He will fail, but he will try. And Sarah, you need to understand something. In shifter world, challenges are often violent. Vincent coming here means blood will be spilled. Can we not just reason with him? Marcus laughed. Dark, bitter. You cannot reason with grief that has turned to hatred. Vincent is beyond words. He will need to be defeated. Publicly, humiliatingly. It is the only language he understands. Will you kill him? Not if I can avoid it. Killing an alpha brings complications, council inquiries, territory disputes. But I will do what is necessary to protect you. The certainty in his voice, the absolute conviction. It should have scared Sarah. Instead, it made her feel safer than she had in years. The third night, Marcus told her about being Alpha King. I did not want it. The title, the responsibility. I was born into a minor pack, worked my way up through strength and strategy. When the old king died 200 years ago, the council chose me. Not because I was strongest, though I was, because I was smartest, most controlled. They wanted stability. I gave them that. Do you like it being king? Some days, I like protecting people, creating order from chaos, building something that lasts. Other days, I hate it, the politics, the constant challenges, never being able to just exist without every action being analyzed. He smiled slightly. But if I was not Alpha King, I would not have the resources to protect you now. So perhaps fate knew what it was doing. You give fate a lot of credit. After 400 years, you learn some things are too perfect to be coincidence. Now on the morning of the fourth day, Sarah stood on the porch and watched the convoy arrive. 3 black SUVs, military grade, windows tinted. They pulled up in formation that spoke of tactical training. Marcus emerged from the center vehicle. Today he wore a suit, dark gray, perfectly tailored. He looked every inch the Alpha King, powerful, untouchable, until his eyes found Sarah and softened. Ready. Sarah looked back at the ranch, her home for 28 years. Thomas stood in the doorway, duffel bag at his feet. He was coming too, had insisted. No way was his daughter going into the supernatural world without backup. Ethan bounded out of the barn. The boy had recovered completely. Human form stable, able to shift at will now. He wore clothes Marcus had brought, jeans, hoodie, looking like any normal 12-year-old. Except for the eyes, too old, too knowing. Let's go, Ethan was excited, going home, back to his familiar world. Sarah took a breath. Ready. Marcus held out his hand. Sarah stared at it for a moment. This was it. The moment she truly stepped into his world. She took his hand. His fingers closed around hers. Warm, strong. The mate bond between them flared brighter. Sarah gasped at the sensation. Pleasure and rightness and certainty flooding through the connection. You feel it. Not a question. Yes. Good. Marcus led her to the center SUV. The more you accept the bond, the stronger it gets. Eventually, you will be able to feel my emotions, hear my thoughts, know my location anywhere in the world. That sounds invasive. It sounds like safety. Marcus handed her into the vehicle. Leather interior. Technology everywhere. If you are ever in danger, I will know. Instantly. No matter where I am, I will come. Thomas climbed in next to Sarah. Ethan bounced into the back. Marcus took the passenger seat. A man Sarah had not met was driving. Sarah, this is Daniel Reeves, my beta, second in command. Daniel glanced back. Mid-30s, sharp eyes, assessing. Ma'am, is everyone in your world so formal? Only when meeting the future Alpha Queen. Daniel's lips twitched, almost a smile. I have not agreed to that. Yet, Marcus said calmly. You have not agreed yet. The drive to the airport was silent. Sarah watched Montana wilderness give way to small towns. Noticed how Marcus tracked everything, eyes constantly moving, reading threats that were not there. Alpha instincts, always vigilant. At the private airport, a jet waited, sleek, expensive. Sarah had never been on a plane before. Marcus must have sensed her nervousness through the bond because his hand found hers again. I will be right beside you. The whole flight. He was. As the plane lifted off and Sarah's stomach dropped, Marcus's presence anchored her. His scent, his warmth, the bond between them pulsing with reassurance. 2 hours later, they descended into Seattle. Sarah had never seen a city this size. Buildings like mountains, people everywhere, noise and chaos and overwhelming stimulation. Marcus's hand stayed on her lower back, guiding, protecting. They drove through downtown to a high-rise that made Sarah's neck hurt looking up at it. The top 10 floors, Marcus explained, were his. Private residence, office, territory headquarters. An elevator that moved so fast Sarah's ears popped. Then doors opening onto a penthouse that defied belief. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. Modern furniture. Art that probably cost more than Sarah's ranch. And space, so much space. This is home. Ethan ran ahead, clearly familiar. Your room is next to mine, come see. Sarah let the boy drag her down a hallway. The room he showed her was bigger than her entire house back in Montana. King bed, private bathroom, balcony overlooking the city. You will be safe here, Ethan said seriously. Dad has the best security. No one gets in unless he allows it. It is a lot. You will get used to it. Ethan hugged her suddenly. Fierce, I am glad you are here, glad Dad found you. He has been sad for so long. You make him happy again. Sarah hugged back. This boy, who had accepted her so easily, trusted her so completely. You make it easy to care about you. Because you are going to be my mom. Ethan pulled back, grinned. Shifter kids always know these things. He ran off before Sarah could protest. Thomas appeared in the doorway. Big change from Montana. That is an understatement. He is a good man. Thomas moved to the window. Marcus, I've been watching him. The way he looks at you, the way he is with his son, he is exactly what I hoped for when I knew this day would come. You hoped I would be claimed by a werewolf king. I hoped you would find someone worthy of you, someone who would protect you, cherish you, give you the life you deserve. Thomas turned. Sarah, I know you are scared. Change is terrifying, but sometimes the scariest leaps lead to the best landings. When did you become a philosopher? When my daughter started dating supernatural royalty. Sarah laughed despite her nerves. Not dating, definitely not dating. No, it is more serious than dating, and that is even better. That evening, Marcus showed Sarah his world. They started with a tour of the building, security systems that monitored everything. Guards at every entrance, escape routes planned for every scenario. I know it seems excessive, Marcus said as they rode the elevator to his office floor. But Sarah, you have to understand, as Alpha King, I have enemies, political rivals, territories that want to challenge my authority. If they know you are my mate, they will see you as target. That is a terrible way to live. It is the only way I know. The elevator opened, but I will never let them reach you. That is a promise. His office was all glass and steel, modern, efficient. Nothing personal except one photo on the desk, Rebecca and baby Ethan. Sarah picked it up, studied the woman who had held Marcus's heart first. She was beautiful. She was. Marcus stood beside Sarah. And she would have liked you. Rebecca believed everyone deserved happiness. She would be glad I found mine again. You barely know me. I know enough. I know you saved my son when you could have called authorities. I know you stayed with him through the night despite being terrified. I know you went into heat and trusted me to help you without claiming you. Marcus turned Sarah to face him. I know you are brave and practical and kind. I know you smell like vanilla and wildflowers. I know touching you feels like coming home after centuries of wandering. What else do I need to know? Sarah's heart pounded. This is crazy. We met 4 days ago. 4 days, 4 years, 4 centuries. Time is relative. What matters is what we feel, what we choose. His hands cupped her face. And Sarah, I choose you every day, every moment. The question is, will you choose me? Before Sarah could answer, an alarm blared. Marcus's entire demeanor shifted. Alpha King, warrior. He pulled Sarah behind him, pressed a button on his desk. Report. Daniel's voice crackled through. Perimeter breach. Vincent Gray and 12 enforcers. Demanding entry, claiming right of challenge. Marcus's eyes flashed pure gold. Lock down all civilians. Activate defense protocols. I will meet them in the lobby. Marcus, no. Sarah grabbed his arm. It is too dangerous. He came for you. This ends now. Marcus kissed her forehead, fast, hard. Stay here. Do not leave this office. Daniel will protect you. But Sarah, Alpha Command, undeniable. Trust me. Then he was gone. Sarah stood in the empty office, heart racing. The mate bond pulled tight. She could feel Marcus, his rage, his determination, his absolute conviction that he would end this threat. Daniel appeared in the doorway. Come on. We watch from the security room. You can see everything. Sarah followed him down the hall to a room filled with monitors, every angle of the building visible. On the main screen, Marcus strode into the lobby, 12 floors below, but the cameras caught everything. Vincent Gray waited, mid-40s, handsome in a cold way, flanked by his enforcers, all of them radiating threat. Sarah watched as Marcus stopped 10 feet away. Even through the screens, his presence dominated. Alpha King facing Challenger. This was his territory, his power. You trespass, Gray. Vincent smiled. Cruel. I come under right of challenge. You have something that belongs in my territory. I claim salvage rights. Sarah Morgan belongs to no territory. She is unmated Omega under my protection. She is healer, rare resource. She should serve all shifters, not be hoarded by one alpha. Vincent's eyes glittered. I challenge your claim. Trial by combat. Winner takes the Omega. Sarah's blood went cold. Can he do that? Technically, yes. Daniel's jaw was tight. Ancient law, but Marcus will never accept. To do so would mean agreeing Sarah is property to be won. On screen, Marcus laughed. Dark, dangerous. You think you can challenge me? You think you have the right? He took a step forward, power radiating. Every enforcer behind Vincent flinched. I am Alpha King, 400 years of combat experience. I have killed threats greater than you before you were born. And you dare come to my territory and demand I fight you for my mate. So you admit she is your mate, unbonded, unclaimed, fair game. She is mine. Marcus's voice dropped to that alpha register that made windows rattle. Bonded or not claimed or not, she chose to come here. Chose my protection. Chose me. That is not something you challenge. That is not something you take. Then prove it. Vincent shifted, bones cracking, fur sprouting, wolf form emerging. His enforcers followed. 12 wolves, surrounding Marcus. Sarah's hands pressed against the screen. Do something, he is outnumbered. Watch, Daniel said quietly. Just watch. Marcus stood in the center of a circle of wolves, calm, unmoving. Then he shifted. It was not like Ethan's painful transformation, not uncontrolled case. This was power unleashed. One moment Marcus was human. The next, a massive black wolf stood where he had been. Easily twice the size of Vincent's largest enforcer, eyes burning amber gold, radiating such dominance that half the enforcers whimpered and backed up. Alpha King, apex predator, 4 centuries of strength in one form. Vincent lunged. What followed was not a fight. It was a demonstration. Marcus moved like liquid death, dodging, striking, every movement precise, efficient, no wasted energy. He took down 3 enforcers in seconds. Disabled, not killed, then turned his attention to Vincent. The challenger tried. Sarah had to give him that. He was skilled, fast. But Marcus was on another level entirely. Within 2 minutes, Vincent was on his back. Marcus's jaws around his throat, one bite away from death. The lobby went silent. Marcus held Vincent like that for long seconds, making his point. Then he released, shifted to human. stood over the defeated alpha. You come to my territory, threaten my mate, challenge my authority. Marcus's voice carried through the lobby, through the screens, through the mate bond to where Sarah felt every word. You are lucky I am merciful. Take your enforcers. Leave Seattle. If I see you near Sarah again, I will not stop at defeat. I will end you. Completely. Do you understand? Vincent, still in wolf form, exposed his throat. Submission. Good. Marcus turned his back. Ultimate dismissal. Daniel, escort them out. Ban them from all my territories. Vincent shifted to human, naked, humiliated, but alive. This is not over, Blackwood. Yes, Marcus said without turning around. It is. Sarah watched Vincent and his people leave. Watched Marcus stand alone in the lobby. Victorious. Untouched. Then she was running. Out of the security room. Down the hall. Into the elevator. Pounding the button for the lobby. Daniel called after her, but she did not stop. The elevator felt like it took forever. When the doors opened, Marcus was still standing there. Blood on his skin from the brief fight. But whole. Safe. His head turned. Saw her. Sarah ran to him. Threw herself into his arms. Marcus caught her. Held her. You were supposed to stay in the office. I do not care. Sarah pulled back. Looked at him. Really looked. You could have been hurt. Killed. All because of me. Not because of you. Because Vincent is a fool who does not understand that some things are worth dying for. Marcus's hands cupped her face. Sarah, I would fight 1,000 Vincents for you. I would burn my kingdom. Abandon my throne. Give up everything. Because you are worth more than all of it. That is insane. That is mate bonds. His thumb brushed her lips. That is love. Sarah's breath caught. Love. I am 400 years old. I know what love feels like. How it grows. How it consumes. And Sarah, what I feel for you is bigger than anything I have felt before, because you are not just fated mate given by biology. You are the woman I would choose again and again, in every lifetime. Sarah stared at him. This impossible man. This alpha king who had crashed into her life and turned everything upside down. And she knew. Claim me. Marcus froze. What? You heard me. Sarah's hands fisted in his shirt. Claim me. Mark me. Make me yours. I choose this. I choose you. Not because heat demands it. Not because biology forces it. Because I want this. Want you. Sarah, you just saw violence. Your adrenaline is high. You might be in shock. I am clear-headed. I am certain. And I am tired of waiting. Sarah pulled him down. Kissed him hard. Desperate. Take me upstairs. Show me what it means to be yours. Marcus's control shattered. He kissed her back, consuming, possessive, his hands everywhere, claiming. When they broke apart, both breathing hard, his eyes were pure wolf. If we do this, there is no going back. The bond will complete. We will be mated for life. You will be Alpha Queen. Is that what you want? Yes, no hesitation. That is exactly what I want. Marcus swept her into his arms, carried her to the elevator, up to his penthouse, to his bedroom. He laid her on his bed, huge, covered in blankets that smelled like him. Last chance to change your mind. Stop talking and claim me already. Marcus smiled, predatory, as my Omega wishes. What followed was nothing like the desperate touching during heat. This was slow, deliberate, Marcus worshiping every inch of her skin as he undressed her, kissing, tasting, learning her body. Sarah had never been touched like this, like she was precious, sacred. When Marcus finally settled between her thighs, both of them naked and wanting, he paused. Look at me. I want to see your eyes when I make you mine. Sarah met his gaze, gray burning amber, fierce and possessive and full of promise. I love you, she whispered. Meaning it. Marcus's expression shattered, rebuilt. I love you, my Omega, my mate, my Sarah. Then he claimed her. The joining was perfection, pain and pleasure, fullness, rightness. the mate bond between them exploding with golden light as their bodies connected. Sarah cried out, arching, overwhelmed. Marcus moved with controlled precision, drawing out her pleasure, making it last. This was not rushed heat mating. This was forever sealing between souls. When Sarah shattered an orgasm, Marcus was right there with her. His teeth found her neck. The junction between neck and shoulder. Sacred mating spot. He bit. Pain. Sharp. Immediate. Then flooding pleasure as the mark took. As the bond completed, Sarah felt it snap into place. The connection between them becoming permanent. Unbreakable. She could feel Marcus's emotions. His overwhelming love. His fierce protectiveness. His absolute devotion. And when she bit him back, marking him as hers, just as completely his joy nearly drowned her. They collapsed together, breathing hard, marked, mated, bound. Mine, Marcus growled against her neck. Yours. Sarah agreed, and you are mine. Always. They lay tangled together as their breathing calmed, as reality slowly filtered back. Sarah traced the marks she had left on Marcus's neck. Permanent, visible, claiming the Alpha King as hers. The next morning, Grant Mitchell stood nervously in Marcus's office. The rancher looked years older than when he had fired that shot. Haunted. Sarah sat beside Marcus. She had asked for this meeting. Mr. Mitchell? Sarah's voice was gentle. I'm Sarah. I've been taking care of the wolf you shot. Grant flinched. He wasn't a wolf, was he? No, Sarah said simply. He was a 12-year-old boy, Marcus's son, having his first transformation. Grant's face crumpled. God, I shot a kid. Marcus had remained silent, but his eyes burned amber. Watching, waiting. Sarah continued. You didn't know. You thought you were protecting your property, your family. She paused. Ethan survived. He's healing, and he doesn't blame you. How can he not? Grant's voice broke. Because holding on to anger doesn't help anyone. Sarah glanced at Marcus. You have a choice now. You know what we are. You can forget what you've sown and walk away. Or you can help us. Become a bridge between your world and ours. Grant looked at Marcus. What does that mean? Marcus spoke for the first time. It means you become a liaison. When shifters pass through Montana, you ensure local ranchers don't panic. You help us avoid incidents like this. His voice was cold steel. But if you ever speak publicly about what you saw, if you ever endanger my family again, there will be no mercy. Do you understand? I understand. Grant stood straighter. I'll do it. Whatever you need. I owe you that much. After Grant left, Marcus pulled Sarah close. You gave him redemption he didn't deserve. Everyone deserves a second chance. Sarah kissed him softly. Even hunters who shoot first and ask questions later. Marcus smiled against her lips. You're going to make a dangerous alpha queen. Too much mercy. You have enough ruthlessness for both of us. That is true. What happens now? Now, Marcus pulled her closer. Now you meet the council. They will need to approve you as alpha queen. What if they do not? They will. Such certainty. Because you are healer Omega. Because you are my true mate. And because when you walk into that chamber, you will show them exactly why you deserve to stand beside me. I do not know anything about shifter politics. You know how to heal, how to protect, how to bring people together. Marcus kissed her temple. That is all any good ruler needs. The rest is just details. 3 days later, Sarah stood outside the council chambers. Vancouver, neutral territory, where 15 alphas gathered to govern North American shifters. She wore a dress Marcus had provided, deep green, elegant but not fussy. Her mark was visible on her neck. Marcus's claiming bite for all to see. Beside her, Marcus wore a suit, Alpha King, but his hand was in hers, united front. Ready? He asked. No, but I am doing it anyway. The doors opened. 15 alphas turned to look. Power radiated from each of them. Centuries of strength. Sarah felt the weight of their attention like physical pressure. Marcus's hand tightened on hers, supporting, but he did not speak. This was her moment. Sarah took a breath. Let her Omega power rise. The healing energy, the calming presence. She let it wash over the chamber. watched as hardened alphas visibly relaxed, as tension eased, as the atmosphere shifted from hostile assessment to curious welcome. Healer Omega, one of them breathed. Female, older, true healer. I am Sarah Morgan Blackwood. Sarah's voice did not shake. Mate to Marcus Blackwood, and I stand before you asking to be recognized as Alpha Queen. On what grounds? An alpha to the left. Hostile. You are unblooded, untrained, human heritage. On the grounds that I saved Alpha King's son when no one else could, that I accepted mate bond willingly, that I have power to heal where others can only destroy. Sarah met each alpha's eyes in turn. I am not asking for your permission. I am asking for your respect. The rest I will earn. Silence. Absolute. Then the female alpha laughed. She has fire. I like her. I like her too. Another alpha. Male. She is honest, blunt. We need more of that. The challenges came, but they were reasonable. Questions about her abilities, her intentions, her understanding of shifter law. Sarah answered each honestly. No games, no manipulation. By the end, even the hostile alphas looked grudgingly approving. The vote was called, formal, binding, 14 in favor, 1 abstention. Sarah was recognized as Alpha Queen. Marcus pulled her into his arms, kissed her before everyone, claiming and celebrating in equal measure. That night, there was a formal ceremony, public mating ritual. Sarah wore a crown of silver and moonstone, stood beside Marcus before hundreds of shifters. When it was done, when she was officially Queen, Ethan bounded up and hugged her. Mom, he whispered, you are officially my mom now. Sarah's throat tightened. Yeah, I guess I am. Epilogue came 3 months later. Sarah stood in the bathroom of the penthouse, staring at the positive pregnancy test in her hand. She was pregnant, part terrified, part overjoyed, completely overwhelmed. Marcus appeared in the doorway, always sensing her emotional state through the bond. What is wrong? Sarah held up the test. Marcus froze, eyes going wide, then blazing with joy so intense it nearly knocked her over through the bond. You are carrying our child. I am carrying our child, Sarah laughed through sudden tears. I do not know how to be a mother. You are already Ethan's mother. You will be amazing at this. Marcus dropped to his knees, hands on her still flat stomach. Reverent. Our heir, our legacy. Ethan burst in. I knew it. I could smell it. What? Both adults turned to him. You smell different, like milk and baby. Ethan grinned. Shifter kids always know these things. Sarah laughed, pulled both her males close. This was her family now, her pack. Alpha King who loved her with everything he had. Son who accepted her completely. Baby growing inside her. Father settled into a guest suite and surprisingly happy about the whole situation. Her life had transformed in 4 months. From isolated ranch girl to Alpha Queen. From human to Omega. From alone to beloved. Fate had not asked permission, but Sarah could not imagine choosing anything different. Marcus kissed her. Deep. Possessive. Gentle. I love you. My mate, my queen. Mother of my children. I love you too. My alpha, my king, father of my family. Ethan made a gagging sound. Gross, but also I love you both. They stood together, 3 becoming 4, family bound by choice as much as fate. And somewhere in the Montana wilderness on a ranch that now sat empty, the wind whispered through the barn where it all began, where an Omega found a wounded heir, where an Alpha King found his mate, where destiny proved stronger than fear. The end, but also the beginning, because mate bonds last forever. And love, true love, transcends everything, even time, even species, even the barriers between worlds. Sarah Morgan Blackwood, Healer Omega and Alpha Queen had found her place, and it was exactly where she belonged.